Hi guys, Andreas on the Mainliner with a vinyl finds video. It's a vinyl lottery finds video because, as I said before, it's a little bit things have accumulated over time and I haven't been doing a lot of videos for a period of time, and sort of the stack got bigger and bigger. So I will utilize science again to determine which bits I'm going to be showing. Now, there's 5 segments. One being the newest and 5 being the oldest part of the stack, and yeah, we'll see what comes up. So this is, let's do it together. Okay, no cheating. It's really funny because if it ends up being 5, I might be like, yeah, I bought this, but I don't exactly remember what happened. 2, all right, okay, good. So, 2. I like that because that's convenient. Right, so I have a stack here, which is quite big. Right. Let's see how many I can do. Radio. So, first up, here lies man. Afro, sort of Afrobeat psychedelic music, very reminiscent of Goat. You've heard of Goat. It's a little bit more stripped down version of it. It has like, it's Afrobeat, come on, I mean, you know, it's like, it has this repetition, and there is this sort of you feel elevated listening to this. It's like, you know, it's just music that you can work out to, I guess. Not a lot of work done on the lyrics. It's like the lyrics are like completely stripped down. There's, oh yeah, it's like black vinyl version. It's on Riding Easy label, which has done some really interesting sort of stoner stuff. This is a little bit different to that, but excellent, really good. There is a guy from this band that is in another band, but cannot remember from which band he is and what he's on about. And seriously guys, I mean, you flip through records on your record shop and you come across this and you see this cover, and at the very least you won't pick it up and say, what is this? It's like one of the coolest ever covers. I mean, just amazing. Fantastic record as well. I mean, highly recommended. Yeah, Afrobeat, Fela Kuti, and yeah, Ginger Baker. So what I was really surprised, now I will skip the bit about, oh, this is really good and whatnot, because it's fucking awesome. All right, is fucking amazing. What really sort of surprised me was the quality of the recording. It just sounds it's so well recorded. It's unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the people on the audience, I don't know. There weren't any. I don't think that they had any audience mics on this one because I can only hear the band. But if there wasn't a riot going on, like not a riot, but you know, people jumping up and down and dancing and whatnot during this concert, I don't know. I mean, you know, unless they were in the in a ward in a hospital where everybody was on life support, then I don't see any reason why you wouldn't dance to this thing. It's just unfucking believable. This is a reissue on Knitting Factory. Yeah, it's one of those ones that I really wanted from Fela's discography that I'm missing. So yeah, check it out. Fantastic. Yay! So this is also really good. Now, 3 records that are fucking amazing, and you should definitely check them out. And this one, Golem, Now this is a bit shiny, so I need to put it in, you know, under like that. So this was released on CD only on a label called Sci-Fi, I cannot remember. UK label, and it was released in 1996 or thereabouts. That label did 6 records pretty much. Golem, what's the other one? I think it's in this stack. No, it's a little bit further back. And it doesn't matter. So they did like 6 releases, all in all. All of them worth checking out. This has been reissued on this label, Mental Experience. And the premise of this album is that it's a long lost recording from 1976, and it's like a crowd rock, space rock, you know, masterpiece. Now, the crowd rock, space rock masterpiece, I will agree, absolutely. Being a lost recording from 1976, I will, I don't know whether that is true or not. Now, it has been claimed that it is that, but I'm not entirely sold. Now, having said that, it doesn't really matter, because, you know, sometimes some artists do create like, you know, sort of mystique around, you know, their name and around releases and whatnot, just to hype them up, and or maybe for artistic reasons. I mean, there are people that do that. I mean, I was showing this album the other day, some time ago. Hang on. Where is it? It's here. It's here. Definitely. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was talking about this album here, the Deux Filles, and which is like they had like this tragic story, and they made the music, and in reality were 2 blokes in drag. So, you know, it can be for that reason, or it can be like well, what's the name? I'm looking there because that's where the electronic records are, and there's Kosmischer Laufer, which is supposedly like the music, the electronic music that East Germany commissioned to a guy that was supposed to put on headphones for the athletes to listen to when they were working out, so that they could, you know, outcompete the capitalist pigs and all that kind of stuff, which is not true. But because actually Kosmischer Laufer actually is doing live gigs, so yeah, it's not true, but you know, it's kind of fun, and you know, it's all right. I mean, I don't hold it against it. I don't really mind, and it's a fucking fantastic album. Golem, check it out. Also check out Mental Experience, because they have some fucking good releases, and this is one of them. So enough of that. Okay, so this is an interesting one. This is Nurse with Wound list, because I still collect stuff from there. Now, not all of the Nurse with Wound list stuff are good. They might be rare, they might be interesting, but I don't necessarily want all of them, but this was one of them. So Wapasu, out on Lion Recordings. This was 1974, yes, and it's like it's a proggy sort of proggy psychedelic kind of affair. They don't have drums on this one. It's like more like organs and like synths, and not synths, but yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's more like acoustic and less sort of driving. So in that kind of sense, it doesn't have a lot of beat, but it's quite interesting. And yeah, check it out. Here's another, here's a reissue of something that was long lost and all that, but I think that this is probably the case. So this is GAM. This is a reissue on, not a reissue, a release, I would say. I want to say a release because I don't think that this has been released before. So GAM 1976, GAM were Gunther Schickert, Alex Struck, and Michael Leske. Now I know Gunter Schickert, who's an amazing guitar player, and I do check out his other stuff. And this is like really killer kind of krautrock. And there's another release from GAM as well, which came out like I would say a year ago almost, and it's equally good. So yeah, check this out. I'll put that here. So because these are together. I think this was a little bit before I purchased all this stack, but doesn't matter, I will show it anyway. So Moshi, this is Barney Willen, who was, now memory serves me right, he was Belgian and he was drum player, I think, sax player, something like that. Well, maybe, yeah. Anyway, I have Moshi 2 from some time back when Chris 421 sorry mate, I forget all your numbers there. So he recommended Moshi 2 and I picked it up and it's brilliant. And this is Moshi 1, which was apparently even rarer than Moshi 2 and even better. Jazzy, funky, African-y sort of affair, and it's super enjoyable. You put it on and you're like, oh yeah man, you know, it's like, it has a groove, it's just brilliant. Highly recommended. I hope it has been released for some time now on Souffle de Continu, and I don't know if it's still available because it's so good, it's probably like gone by now. I sincerely hope, if you weren't aware of it, I sincerely hope that you can find a copy. Yeah. Now, here's a very cheap. Yeah. Well, sorry, I got distracted because I was thinking, oh, hang on, used stuff. Yeah, actually, this does sort of fit here. Yeah. Okay, so some used stuff, because I do buy used stuff, and and it's not like I shun them, but it's just that I'm a bit impatient. I'm like a little bit like, Daddy, I want a pony right now. And, reissues are a good way of getting that. That's one thing. Second thing is that sometimes reissues are cheaper, sometimes. And also sometimes, almost always, reissues are in better condition than used ones. Now, this one is on decent condition and I bought it really cheaply. This is Green on Red and Gas Food Lodging. This is, I think, their first album. This is a UK press cut out that I got for like £5 on eBay. And yeah, so Gas Food Lodging was released in 1984, I want to say. Yes, 1984, I remember correctly. And it's one of the Paisley Underground bands, so along with Dream Syndicate, Rain Parade, and all these sort of bands. This is very organ driven, this is very Americana sounding, and it's brilliant. It's like, it's fantastic. I mean, the opener, that's what Dreams is. 16 Ways, Sea of Cortez, just bloody brilliant. I don't know, I have a special place in my heart for this sound, although I didn't grow up listening to this. I don't know, it's kind of special for me. Next up, an album that I got used for $5.99. Yeah, this is Elvis Costello. Yeah, this is this year's model. Now, this is an original press, by the way, with insert and everything. It's the misprint because it says Elvis Costello. I don't know whether this was like artistic thing that they wanted to go for, or if it was a genuine misprint, because there's so many copies of this like this. I don't know, I have no idea. Anyway, this is not the expensive version. I think that there's a more expensive version that has like a 7-inch and whatnot. And yeah, anyway, funny story, Elvis Costello, I never listened to Elvis Costello, like I have one record. I have Blood and Chocolate. I think, which I was when I bought it. I wasn't. It wasn't my style. I wanted more guitar stuff. And Blood and Chocolate is not guitar driven a lot. It's not very. It's not very rocking, basically. So, and I've always had a problem with his name. Elvis is like Elvis. Come on, seriously, Elvis. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it sounds like a cheap imitation. You know, you know that. Those wannabe Elvises that how do you call them? Anyway, it doesn't matter. And it sort of always put me off until for whatever reason. I don't know for whatever reason. There is a reason. I watched 100 Cigarettes, and there was this girl that was obsessed with Elvis Costello in there. And for whatever reason, that's where the whatever reason is like. I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe I should check out Elvis Costello again. And I checked out his first couple of albums. This one, and obviously I think that, Armed Forces is supposed to be really good. I think I've streamed it, but I don't remember it. But I have the first two on CD, and I decided to get this one on vinyl because good price, and I need to take that sticker off, but I haven't done so yet. So yeah, absolute classic, new wave, just, what can you say? It's a classic. I mean, what am I supposed to say about this? There's nothing to say about it. And the next three actually fall under the same sort of category. Sisters of Mercy, first and last and always. This is the original German press. I'm a bit confused about the pressing of this album. It's sort of. I think that there was only a German gatefold press, which this is it. So this is the gatefold. Oh, gloomy. But apparently there's a UK one. I don't know. Anyway, one of the issues with this album is the following. Now, first of all, this is this is the fourth copy of this album that I have. I really like this album. And this is like it's the beginning of goth rock and the end of goth rock. There's no other goth rock albums out there, and there were none before this. This is like the milestone. Nobody ever managed to replicate it, while at the same time being able to have some personality. So yeah, absolute classic, hands down, and thoroughly enjoyable record. I love it. That's one thing. Second thing is, I have it 3 more times because I didn't manage to get an original copy back in the day, and I got the remastered version, and then I got the CD when I was here and I wasn't buying records, and then I got the mobile fidelity version of it because I found it really cheap. So that's 3. But I still wanted to have the original. Why? It's because, and I was saying this about remastering and whatnot, I think that they did the remaster, which is nicely made, but it lost a little bit of that fuzzy sound that the original has. Especially, it's very audible on Black Planet, and again, you can use Spotify to check it out. There's a version of this album which is like the remastered version, and then there is a version of this album that is part of a 3 CD pack, which has like the first 3 albums of the Sisters of Mercy, and in that CD pack is the non-remastered version, and you can hear that the sound has a lot more it's more textured. It has more like, I don't know, not volume. It has more. It sounds more massive. It has grit, but I cannot put it in words. It sounds better. It just sounds better. And yeah, if you're going to go for this album, avoid the. It's subtle, but if you spot it, you can see it. It's like it's one of those 3D trick things that it's like a blur, and then when you focus, you actually see it. And when you actually manage to do it once, then you can do it every time. But if you cannot, then forget about it. Anyway, it's exactly the same thing. Nothing wrong with the remaster, but personally, I prefer the original. Now here's a band that nobody heard of, and I don't know, it's like a little bit of shit, blah blah. Anyway, I wanted to have the vinyl. I have a vinyl copy back home, which is a reissue that was from what was it called? At a time when vinyl was dying, and there was this company called Simply Vinyl that did a reissue of this. I never got an original back in the day because, as I said, I am a dick and everybody was listening to it, so I didn't want to listen to Nevermind, but fuck it, it's a really good album. Here's an album that I never owned on vinyl. I used to have a CD back in the day. I had bought used, and I gave to a friend to play on a party and whatnot, and he lost it. He was a dick. I bought a CD because actually I have it here. As I said, I have CDs in front of me. I have it here, I have the CD. But it always bugged me because it's one of those CDs that say it's AAD. I don't know, sorry, it didn't focus. So hang on, let's focus. Anyway, trust me, it says AAD. Means it's analog source, analog mastering, and then just digital playback basically. So I always wanted to have a vinyl copy of this, and also the other thing is that I started listening to this a lot, like in the last 3-4 months as well, and it's such a good album. It's just fucking amazing. What I really like about it is that it has this sort of naivete, if you like, but but at the same time it has like really dark undertones. It's just one of those albums that always catches you by surprise. The other thing I like about this is that it has like this sort of really nice and airy-fairy kind of like surfy guitars and whatnot, but the guitar sound is just chunky and really sort of hard-hitting. It's just fantastic. And the songs here, one of my favorite songs is in the garage, which is like I guess that most people know My Name is Jonas and Buddy Holly and whatnot, but in the garage is where it's at. I think it's like it's just, and the lyrics are so good, so it's just fantastic. Maybe I'll do a one of those a video like the one I did for Metallica. 22 minutes, for fuck's sake, man. Quick one. Now I can go through these fairly quickly, I think, because record store day. Now I didn't go to record store day, but I did go like 5 days after the record store day, and I found these, which are the Spaceman 3 albums, so Recurring, For All the Fucked Up Children in the World, and Purity, which I have Purity, I have Recurring, but I didn't have For All the Fucked Up Children in the World, which is the first like live recording. And yeah, I mean, it's Spaceman 3, it's modern psych, and it's just fantastic. If you don't know Spaceman 3, you should check them out. It's the band that sort of before it's really funny because now I remember an album name and I cannot remember the band. Spiritualized, that's it. Record Store Day, Sam Gopal. This is actually the album that made me go to the record stores. It's like, oh fuck, they have reissued this. I need to go get it. Sam Gopal is this guy. I always thought that this was Lemmy, but apparently this is Lemmy. For whatever reason, yeah, this is Sam Gopal, and Lemmy was on this, and it's a good. For whatever reason, also it has the producer on the back. Who the fuck is Trevor Walters? Hi, I'm Trevor Walters. I produced this album. We don't give a shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether Sam Gopal did anything else. I had read about this. I cannot remember what the hell he did afterwards. Yeah, anyway, absolute, it is classic. I think that it's more classic because it's a really good album, by the way. It is, how can I describe it? I cannot really, it's not hard to describe, but I cannot find the right words, so I will not do it. There you go. That is like really good advice, isn't it? Yeah, I know. I'm really good at this. What else? No, that's 25 minutes. I think that is enough. I think we're good there. Yeah, there's still more stuff, obviously, but hey, you know, there's always time for another video. So that's the end of the video. I hope that you discovered something new. I hope that you get inspired to, check out some new tunes or whatever. You can like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. Subscribe if you think this is interesting, unsubscribe if you think it's rubbish, and I will be seeing you soon, I hope.